Today we're talking about multiplying binomials and trinomials. So in order to multiply binomials, you need to distribute each term in the first binomial to each term in the other binomial. And then you combine like terms. This order of distributing is frequently referred to as the FOIL method. So you may have heard people talk about the FOIL method, maybe an older sibling, other people. So FOIL just basically means first, outer, inner, last. So you start by multiplying the first two terms, and then you write that down at the bottom, and then you do the outside terms, and then you do the inside terms, and then you multiply the outer term, the last terms here. So we're going to do two examples, and then I'm going to show you how to multiply binomials and trinomials, and then you're going to practice this yourself. So for our examples, we've got x plus 2 times x plus 4. So we're going to apply our FOIL method here. So we're going to multiply our first numbers. So we're going to do x times x, and that is x squared, okay, because it's each an exponent of 1. And then I'm going to do my outer, so my 4 times my x, okay, and that's 4x. And then I'm going to multiply my inner, which is my 2 times x. And then I'm going to multiply my last, which is 2 times 4, and 2 times 4 is 8. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and combine my like terms. So when you're foiling, your middle two terms, your outer and inner ones, are typically going to be your like terms, typically, not always. So you're going to look at to see which ones have the same term. My x terms right here are my like terms. So I'm going to go ahead and bring down my x squared. And then I'm going to go ahead and combine my like terms. Remember, when I combine like terms, I do not combine my variable. I'm just adding what's on the outside. So I'm doing 4 plus 2, and 4 plus 2 is 6. Bring down the x, and then bring down the plus 8. And this is my solution. I can't combine any more than this because I have an x squared, an x, and then just a constant term. So that is my final answer. So there's also sometimes, like in example 2, where you'll have a coefficient outside in front of your x term, and that's totally fine. We apply the same FOIL terms. So we're going to FOIL. We're going to do our first 2x times x. We know x times x is x squared, so this becomes 2x squared. Okay, and then we're going to do our outer, and our outer is 2x times a negative 5. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10, and then bring down my x, and then I'm going to do my inner and do my 1 times x. That's 1x. I'm going to go ahead and write 1x just so I don't forget, and then I'm going to do my last, and that's 1 times negative 5, and 1 times negative 5 is negative 5. So now I can go ahead and combine my like terms, and I have a negative 10x and a positive 1x. So when I do negative 10 plus 1, I get a negative 9. So I'm going to go ahead and bring down my 2x squared, and then put minus 9x minus 5. And that's my final answer. Okay, so for the U-try, they're all these multiplying binomials. So you're going to practice those in a second, but I want to jump to the multiplying binomials and trinomials. It's the same process. So you're still doing your first, and you're multiplying it by everything in the second one, and then you're doing your last and multiplying by everything in the second one. So it's there's going to be more numbers this time because there's more in the trinomial than there is in a binomial. So we're going to go ahead and distribute my x first to my x squared. Okay, so x times x squared is going to get me x to the third. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my x times my 3x. Okay, and that is 3x squared. And then I'm going to do my x times negative 6, which becomes negative 6x. And then I need to move over to the other term here, my 4. I've already passed the x out to everything in the other one. So now I'm going to go ahead and start passing out the 4. So I'm going to do 4 times my x squared, which is 4x squared. And then I'm going to do my 4 times 3x, and 4 times 3 is 12. Bring down the x. And then finally, I am going to do my 4 times negative 6. And 4 times negative 6 is negative 24. So it's the same thing. You're not doing first, outer, inner, last. You are just passing it out to each part. However, at this point, it's the same process. We're going to combine our like terms. So I've got 1x cubed, so I'm going to leave that as is. And then I have this x squared, 3x squared, and I have a 4x squared. So 3 plus 4 is 7, x squared. And then I have my x term here and my x term here. So negative 6 plus 12 is a positive 6x. And then I bring down my minus 24. Okay, so it's still the same thing. You're still distributing. There's just an extra term to distribute to in the second part of that trinomial. Okay, and then number 23. Again, this is like the ones from the just multiplying the monomials. However, now the numbers in our rectangles have, they're binomials now, most of them. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. Remember, when you're finding the area of that shaded region, you're taking the area of the outside and subtracting the area of the inside. And remember, find the area, it's length times width. So I'm going to do my length of the outside. So it doesn't matter which one you do. I'm going to do 2x plus 7. Okay, times 9x minus 2. And then I'm going to go ahead and subtract my 3x times my x plus 12. Okay, so for this problem specifically, you're applying the stuff from yesterday, from last lesson, and then this stuff from this lesson. So please make sure when you're writing your final answers that you are following those rules that we established, where you have to do it alphabetical order, and then also make sure your exponents are from greatest to least. So if you're not following that, it is going to be technically a wrong answer. So please make sure you're following those procedures.